even though I know the answers already. When my Insta, as we know, is this is fit underscore Leigh, and Han's Insta, you can find him at Seriously Korean, where he teaches English speakers all these amazing Korean phrases, like way beyond the typical "Hello, how are you?" And
Mm.
you can find his YouTube also at Seriously Korean. He's done a good job with his branding. It's just all the same across the board. So, Han, some easy intro for you. Can you do a quick
Mm.
self intro for us?
Yeah, sure, certainly. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me. And
It's my pleasure.
right, and so my name is Han. I'm currently a doctoral student in England. I'm specialized in Korean linguistics, and I'm also running a YouTube channel named Seriously Korean, and the
Seriously.
Instagram channel, seriously, yeah, it is. And an Instagram channel and TikTok channel with the same name.
Oh, there you go. You didn't feel like branching out into Twitter. It's just not your social media.
Um, I'm considering it at the moment.
Well, we all have to be across all mediums. So, everybody, this is Han from Seriously Korean, and let's see here. Got some other hellos and hi.
Hello.
Good to see you guys. Hello. So we got a how are you doing? How are you doing today, Han? You stay busy lately, don't you?
Yes. So after, I mean, you probably already know this, but doctoral program has multiple steps, and I recently kind of underwent the first step, and I successfully finished it. And I thought that the workload would get a little, reduced, but no, not really. On the contrary, it actually became more. So I've been working on it. I'm working on my thesis, and that's probably one reason why I haven't really uploaded much on YouTube lately. And I apologize for that.
There you go. There you go, everyone. Apologetic Oxford PhD student wishes that he was uploading more, but he'll get us later. So I wanted to ask you, how did you get interested in language teaching? Of course, you're studying linguistics now. You're studying also, but you are teaching as well. What kind of got you started in that direction?
Um, so I did tutor. Well, I've been tutoring for almost 10 years as a freelancer, and I've also given lectures at my university.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I kind of thought that YouTube is a really, really good platform where I can teach Korean. Because most of my students were mostly maximum 8, I believe. And I just thought that the knowledge I wanted to share with, I could kind of like reach out to more audience using platforms such as, YouTube and Instagram.
Exactly. It's scalable. Like it's
Hmm.
whatever you would like to do for a few individuals, teach them, connect with them on YouTube, it's just possible to connect with so many more people. And if you have something good
Yes.
you want to do in the world, you can do
Mm.
therefore more good on a broader platform. So
Yes.
that's a good choice. All right, and so we're mostly talking about teaching and language and education, but Han does have a fitness pursuit, everybody, and that is swimming. So, how did you get involved in swimming?
Um, so I don't think I've told many people about this. Actually, most of my friends don't know about this, but
Oh,
I
ooh,
almost, yeah, I
new
almost
story. I
drowned
like
when I
it.
was, yeah, yeah. So I was in the swimming pool, and I almost drowned when I was 11 years old.
Oh
Um, but
no.
and since that I haven't really gone swimming because I kind of felt afraid of water. And
Mm-mm-mm.
But then when I was in London, at the time I was a student in London, um, I just tried, I kind of wanted to overcome my anxiety and fear.
Mm-mm.
So I decided just go swimming. And actually, I asked my mother to send me this book called Swimming. Like it was a book written in Korean. It's just suyang. That's the title. It's
It's just called
swimming.
swimming. Just no,
Yes.
no frills, nothing fancy. Just go
No,
for it.
no,
Okay,
no.
okay. I love it. I love
It's
it.
not like big, swimming for beginners, swimming for intermediate. No, it was just su young. And there's this like a really big, gigantic gap between two syllables. Um, so yeah, I just read that book and I literally just tried what it was, explaining in the illustrations, and that's how I actually mastered swimming. And apparently, I think I was in my mid 20s, I believe, late 20s. And that is when I kind of realized that I kind of could overcome my fear.
That is so marvelous because I mean it's amazing on a number of levels. For one, the fact that you had this traumatic and painful experience and you decided to confront it and that you did.
Mm,
And then
yes.
that you managed to learn from a book. I'm just shocked. I mean, we live in the video age, so I never think that you could learn like a practical, like physical skill from a book, but apparently we still
Yes.
can. Oh, that
Yeah.
is fantastic. I love that. Let's see. So we got a few more hellos. Hello from Evan and
Hello.
Nasima. Hello. And oh, we had a question here. It's a good one. If I'm not mistaken, I guess you're Korean, but your accent is British. What do you think?
Yeah, I hear that a lot, of course. Um, I know that there is this like a internet meme where what was that? Like the thing that British people fear the most, and it was like a zooming into this like a glass of sorry, a bottle of water. And I immediately knew that yeah, I immediately knew what the meme was because that's what people ask me to pronounce,
That's right.
like read
Always.
out. Hey, how do you call that thing? A bottle of water.
But
So,
that's
to
right.
answer,
You're
yeah,
you're
a bottle of water.
intentionally enunciating your T's, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. I think my pronunciation is getting better. Pronunciation for just that word, just that phrase, definitely getting better.
Because you're
Um,
tested so often.
yeah, true.
Because people make you say it so
Practice
often.
makes perfect.
But everyone
Mm,
that is true that Han is Korean, of course, fluent in English, but his accent is distinctly British because how many
mm.
years in England? A
I
few.
lived in England for about 10 years.
Right. So that's long enough
Mm,
to kind of absorb the sound. And of course I love
mm.
Han's accent. Like it's so charming because as
Oh, thank
everyone
you
knows,
very much.
I'm American and Americans think that British accents are just, deadly charming. So it's one of the big perks of being friends with you is I get to I get to hear the accent. So we talked about swimming a little bit. And over here, was there anything else? Was there anything else in your fitness background? Like, have you ever given badminton a go, or what about
Mm,
taekwondo? Because I know most young Korean students do it at least a few years.
yeah, so Taekwondo is definitely a thing. I'm not sure about nowadays, but when I was a kid, I kind of had to learn Taekwondo. It was more like
Mm-mm.
it was a duty, I'd say. Um, we all had to learn piano and Taekwondo. Like, if you ask any other Korean people out there, they will probably tell you everything about their experience in, Taekwondo and piano academy. So
The
yeah, I did learn Taekwondo.
There are many people in America think that there are positive yet damaging Asian stereotypes. Things like good, good at piano or possibly violin, good at math and possibly
Mm.
science, and yet there's usually a lot of truth buried in the stereotypes. And I would say yes,
Oh
most of my
yeah.
Korean friends that absolutely echoes They went to taekwondo. They went
Mm,
to piano. They were forced to be very good at math and science. So
yeah.
there's there's a grain of truth in all of that. So
Mm,
that's cool that was a little bit of that in your background. So can you talk about your Oxford University experience a little bit? Because I know people will be interested in that. It's kind of special.
mm.
That so
So I
just start anywhere you want to.
okay. So as for the Oxford University, so first of all, I think most people out there don't really know how Oxford University is run. So Oxford
Hmm,
University is not a uniform university.
okay.
It's it consists of over 40 different colleges, and every individual college is run separately.
Oh,
So
how
your
interesting.
experience, yes. So this is the typical collegiate system, and your experience in Oxford would very much depend upon which college you went to. So I can
Ah,
only tell you about my college, which is Hertford, and Hertford
wow.
College, the one with the bridge, the college with the bridge.
And so all of the colleges have their own individual name. They're not just named for their like the departments they contain, right?
Mm. So universities without colleges,
Mm-mm.
they have departments, they have faculties.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
But at Oxford, you have those two things, but you also have colleges, different
Wow.
colleges, and each college also owns different library. So that's a bit of a hassle if you want to get a book you want. It's really terrible.
So there's like this beehive of networking libraries. That's amazing.
yes, yeah, and
I just all
like
this
for
stuff I did
example,
not know. I just
right, yeah. I
I
mean,
love
I didn't
this.
know that either before I went there. So, like for example, if I want to borrow a book, and if I
Mhm.
were at another university, for example, I would have just gone to the library and just borrowed the book. It's that easy. It's that simple. But when I was at Oxford, like for example, if you want a book, then you need to first check like which library like that book is located.
Which
It could
one?
not be. Yeah, it's likely that it's really not in your college. So you'll probably have to contact the different college and then ask them if I could borrow the book. And then they would kind of like deliver it to you. And yeah, you
That's
need to
so
go to the lodge to
needlessly
kind of check the book.
complex.
Yeah. Needlessly complex.
Wow.
I understand. Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, but it's really nice. The packaging was cute at least.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to exploring all the different little bits of Oxford because everyone,
Mm.
I'm announcing here for the first time, da da da, I will be in England, in Great Britain, for 3 weeks in January. So coming right up, I'll be there, and you know who else will be there at that time? Han. And also, my famous YouTube mentor Robin will be in England at the same time. So you
Hmm.
can look forward to some
I didn't
collaborations
know
in the
about
future.
that.
Oh, is it a secret? He told me about it. So he's
Hmm.
going to. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say where he's going, where all he's going, because that man keeps secrets very well. He does. Let's see. So something from Evan here. There should be an evolution of the meme where next to an English person looking at a bottle of water is a Korean looking at a Taekwondo belt. Oh, you know, and it's so funny because I have to explain to Korean friends, like Korean friends who haven't lived abroad,
Mm,
like in America, it's pronounced Taekwondo, Taekwondo,
mm,
not Taekwondo. So it's like
mm.
super different pronunciation. Let's see. Oh, we had a nice question here from Layla. I'm really afraid of water. So, what's your advice for a person who's in the same
Right,
case as me?
just like I
Right.
was.
So, Layla, you need to learn Korean
Mm,
and read the same book that Han used to read to learn swimming.
right.
No. What
Um,
should you do?
mm, So I remember when I went to the swimming pool, like in like almost like a decade, I would say. And um, what I did at that time was to just play with water, like,
Hmm.
inside the pool. I didn't even attempt to swim, and I
Mm-mm.
just tried to just play in the water.
Mm-mm.
Just like paddle, just swinging around. You can dance in the pool. Nobody says anything about it. So I think it's important to kind of like
It's a
play with it and
judgment-free
feel
zone.
comfortable about it. Oh yeah, yeah.
But I like the way you said that because I think that's a good point. Anything we're afraid of, kind of coming to terms with it in a friendly way and not going all
Mm,
in, like just
mm,
being in the water, near the water, having fun with
mm,
it before you even try
mm.
to formally learn how to swim, kind of becoming friends with it or becoming comfortable. And
Yes,
there's so many things in
absolutely.
life that are similar that it's kind
Mm,
of about getting close to the scary thing and then telling yourself,
mm,
oh, this is not so bad. Um, and you don't have to just dive in immediately. You can take your
mm.
time warming up.
And I think the same thing
Okay.
can go with like language learning as well. You kind of have
Oh,
to like have
yes.
some fun. You need to play with it.
Exactly, exactly. That's something. So this is a good one I like to ask people. What is the best advice you've ever gotten? Can be any
Hmm.
category, language,
The
life,
best advice.
YouTube.
Uh,
Always carry an
oof.
umbrella.
Oh
Look
yeah,
twice before you cross the
absolutely.
street. No, it's not so-
Um, wow, this is tough. I think the best
Oh,
advice. Hmm.
oh, we can circle back to it if you want a little time to think about it.
Yeah, yeah. I just think I
All
need some
right.
time.
So this one might be a little bit easier. What's a book that you've given most as a gift? If there's a book that you really like, usually like we'll loan it to a friend or buy one and give it to somebody. So what book do you
Mm,
like to give to people? What book do you like to recommend?
Um, I am not typically a book giver. I would rather
Oh,
pick sweets for a gift, mhm.
well then,
But there
what
is this
what?
tiny book in England. I kind of forgot, but it's about it's about quotes that calm people. It's a
Oh,
tiny book. I think every British person knows that book. It's a tiny book.
okay.
It's a shame that I forgot about the name.
Because I have heard of it before. I feel this sounds really
Hmm.
familiar. Okay, so it's a tiny book of
Yeah,
calming quotes.
something like
Oh,
that. Yeah,
that's sweet. Kind of like a kind of meditative.
yeah.
And would you say that there is a book that you have reread the most? Do you ever reread like a fiction book for fun or a language book
Um,
or something? So for me,
um,
I think the book I've reread the most is T.S. Eliot's Four Quartets. It's a book of poetry,
mm,
and it's I've probably read it dozens of times because it's poetry. You can just let it roll, through your mind again and again. So is there something
mm.
like that for you?
This might bore some people, but the book like read the most, I would say, like reread, was Ludwig, an Austrian philosopher's book, Logico Tractatus Philosophicus, written by
Okay.
Ludwig Wittgenstein. And like I read it in the army, and it's about linguistic philosophy. That is the book that made me want to delve into linguistics. So yeah. I had to
That's
reread it
funny.
a lot. It's a very thin book, but it's very complex. I kind of had to read it like a lot in order to understand it.
It sounds like it. Did you read the Korean translation or the English translation?
I read the Korean version.
Okay, I'm assuming from the gentleman's
Hmm.
name that the original was in German, but I can't know
Austrian, yeah.
exactly. Okay, let's see. And Kavinu, this is one of our, he's a middle school student from afar. Hello,
Hello.
Kavinu from Sri Lanka. Good to see you too. Let's see. Oh, so we had a comment from Layla. I believe your trip to England will be special with special people like Con and Robin. I envy you, Leigh. I know. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. So I can't wait because like Han knows England. So if I need advice, like
Mm,
he's got it covered. And Robin just kind of knows everything, whether he's experienced it or not. He's just one of those
mhm,
advice dispensing people. And I look forward to that. So Evan says, do you have a particular reason you wanted to reclaim your ability to swim? I've met people who just gave up on swimming and were fine not going near any body of water. Oh, that's a good question, Evan. Some people do just give up. So Han, what was
mm.
different about you? What made you not want to give up on it?
First of all, I didn't, it's not like I reclaimed my ability to swim. I had zero ability to swim. And that's like one reason why I almost drowned when I was 11 years old.
Oh,
Um,
oh, because it was never
it's just,
there.
mm, yeah. So, I just wanted to, you know, overcome my anxiety. That's the only reason. It's not like I wanted to become a swimmer or I
Mm-mm.
wanted to like, learn something, spectacular from it. I just wanted to learn how to swim.
But no, I respect that. I think that is one of the most noble things any person can do, however small it is. If there's something
Mm,
that bothers them or frightens them, to confront that thing, even if it's being afraid of ordering food in a restaurant or calling someone on the telephone. If you
mm,
face it and you try to be able to do that thing, I find it deeply noble and worthwhile. So I
mm.
think that's amazing that you did it. Um,
Thank you.
so okay, so we're going to cycle back to the what's the best advice you've ever gotten. But before
Mm,
that, maybe a good warm up would be what advice should people ignore? And again, that could be advice you hear a lot in the university realm, in the language teaching realm. What's some advice that people should just don't don't even go there?
um, let's start with language learning.
Okay, okay, let's do.
So, there is this widespread belief that adults can't pick up languages as efficiently as babies do, or like kids
That's right.
do.
That's right. I've heard that so often.
And that is a myth. And I mean,
Okay.
okay, myth is probably a bit of a bit of a to
Okay, but it's an
to
exaggeration
extreme.
to say.
Yeah, I guess so. But I know that lots of people kind of give up on learning languages because they think that, oh, I'm never going to be able to pick up, the grammar or anything. I'm not smart enough to learn languages or something. But it has been kind of proven that adults can learn grammar more efficiently than like kids do.
There
Kids
you
are good
go.
at picking up
Mm-mm.
accent or pronunciation, but adults have different strengths compared to, like kids. Mm,
Exactly. So that's something to remember, everyone who's trying to learn a different language or those trying to
mm.
learn English, is don't get discouraged if you're a grown up. Just
Oh
because
yeah.
you can't mimic the sounds as quickly as a child
Mm,
can. You
mm,
have an adult's brain with all of the complicated connections that an adult has. So the grammar forms, that's going to come to you more easily. So, ooh, that's
mm.
that's a good one. Okay, so maybe
Yeah,
in the
and
language world,
mhm, mm.
just maybe in the
So
language
you
world,
kind of
don't
need
listen to
to,
that.
yeah, exactly. And from that, I can also, give some other piece of advice. I really recommend having your own time when you learn languages. Like, for example, I know that most people would say that go out, meet some, native speakers, try to practice your language. That is good, but that is not really the adult strength. My advice would be
Mm,
to just, I mean, do that, but at the same time, have your own time. have,
Mhm.
just stay in your room, study as if you're a secondary schooler, high schooler, and just, read lots of books, in the language that you want to learn, and, have some time to digest it before you actually go out to the world to, communicate with native speakers. That's my advice.
Oh, that's nice because it goes counter to what I've heard a lot of people say. Many people say just
Mm,
throw yourself into the world, just start speaking, even
mm,
if you don't know what you're saying. And I have
mm,
been a little more of that style, but I like that you're a little bit more of like the process of getting more language in. So we had a
mm.
question here from Layla. Han, did you learn all your English from living in England for 10 years, or did you think there was something else that helped you too? No, he could speak fluently before going. So
Yes. So, my English was very good when I was a high school student, and my pronunciation was very good, I think. And yeah, my English was good before I went to, like, even before I went to the army. So when I was in the army, I could actually finish reading Harry Potter in English.
so everyone when he
Learned a lot of
references the
words. Yeah.
when he references the army, the in South Korea, all healthy young men have to spend about 2 years in mandatory military service. So a lot of guys will do their 2 years military service right after high school, or they'll do 1 year of university and then do their military service and come back. So usually when guys talk about being in the military, they're referring to a period in their early 20s. And basically all of them do this. So that's cool that,
Mm.
by that early age you were still able to do the English. And you lived in Canada briefly also, is that right?
Yes, so even though I kind of wanted to go to England, but there was this like belief that England is kind of expensive to live in, so that's why I chose Canada. And specifically, I lived in Vancouver for a year, which is the probably one of the most expensive places to live in in Canada. So
Wow.
Vancouver
I
is pretty, but it's very expensive to live in.
I keep meeting Canadians lately, and they're all like the best human beings in the world, but really grumpy. So I don't know if that's just the Canadian guys I meet. Maybe the girls are a different flavor, but
Right.
All the Canadian guys I know are like such good people, but like super, super grumpy. So you had your time in Canada, you had your time in
hmm
England, and I feel like personally offended that you haven't lived in America. Like you don't like cheeseburgers, you don't like Eagles. What what's wrong with us?
Oh,
You
no,
have to
no,
live.
no. Like, in fact, there are quite a lot of places in America, I mean, in the United States of America that I wanted to visit. I've been to Seattle. Seattle is the only place I've been to in
Oh,
America.
oh.
I want to visit California. I want to go to New York. In fact, New York has been one of my go-to places if I have a
Oh.
chance.
Same. Again, because
Mm.
America is so very large that I, an American, have
Oh,
not
yes.
most of it. Never been to
Yeah.
California, never been to Seattle,
Mm.
never been to New York. Just no. There's too much of it. All right, so everyone, we are here today with Han from Seriously Korean. And if you'd like to check out his Insta, it's here. And also the links are in the description of this video. And his YouTube is Seriously Korean. It says seriously, but he has some of the funniest phrases available for teaching you Korean. And the so let's move on to a different question here. This is one that I think is always really intriguing. How has a failure or an apparent failure set you up
Mm.
for a later success? So something that looked like it was super bad, but helped you out later. I have an
Mm.
idea what the answer might be, so I'm curious.
I did fail something quite big when I was in England, like when I was actually a Bristol University student, and when I look back on my life at the time, It's just full of regrets. I don't think I studied well enough to catch up. And I was just a very arrogant person at the time. I just thought that I was like a know-it-all. And
Oh,
at the time, I failed a lot. In fact, I was basically kind of sacked from my university. I was not even given a second chance.
oh,
And I received an email from my university, Bristol at the time, and when I received an offer from Oxford while I was studying in London, I really didn't want to fail. I didn't want
mm-mm.
to give up on this chance. So I had that email PDF file. I took a screenshot of that email and just set it up as a wallpaper to remind myself constantly of my failure. So I think it's not a good idea to feel depressed about your failure, but a bit of stress is actually a good idea to succeed.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
If you can turn it into fuel in some way,
Oh, yes.
to go, okay, this is a fact. I
Mm,
did poorly at this. I did badly at this. And it doesn't mean that I, lay down and give up forever. It
mm,
means I've got some work ahead of me if I want to get where I'd like to be.
mm.
So good. Good job. Good on you.
Yeah.
That too is very admirable. So everybody, that was a way to look at failure and kind of just acknowledge it, look at it full in the face and
Mm,
say, this was bad, I can do better, let's do that. And I love the attitude of trying to do that, trying to do better. Let's see. So we had a question here. Is there a next language you're interested in learning? Being okay, guys. Okay, okay. Tell them about your other language abilities.
Currently, I'm interested in learning German,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
but I kind of want to challenge myself. So I want to learn actually Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese, and Japanese.
Am I correct that you already have some background in written Chinese in studying?
Yes. Hmm.
That's what I thought.
I think I know about 300 Chinese characters already. And I have some knowledge of the classical Chinese grammar. So
So German, Mandarin, and was it Japanese?
Japanese and Cantonese, if I can. I think Cantonese is quite cute.
It is so different from Mandarin. It is so different. And it's really weird because the language I'm currently learning is Mandarin, and the language I want to learn is Mandarin, but like the
Mm.
places I want to go use Cantonese. So it's difficult. Layla says, what did you like the most about Canada? A.
Mm. Oh, I have quite an easy answer to this. I can give you the direct answer to this.
Is
So
it
I miss
poutine?
no. I actually
Okay.
quite miss A&W.
Oh, okay, okay.
A&W is a hamburger chain,
Mm-mm.
and I really, really miss A&W and root beer. Apparently, not many
Oh,
Korean people like root beer, and I
yeah.
love it. I really like root beer. So,
The I My mother loves root beer, and I
mm.
don't. I know A&W only as a root beer brand because she loves
Oh,
it.
okay.
I don't think I've ever seen an A&W burger chain in the States. I don't.
Mm.
We might have it, but I don't know. Okay, everybody.
But like,
So
even if
the
you
food.
had A&W, would you go?
I don't really fast food. I don't really,
It's not
but
really good for the diet. So,
maybe once. Like I'm never not in photo shoots and stuff. Oh, Ryan, what's up, Ryan? We have missed you. Ryan is a power lifter friend of mine for
oh
vodka.
wow.
Wow, he's Ryan's a fun guy. Ryan stays fun and exciting. So we had talked a little bit about failures. So let's talk about something a little more fun. what's an unusual habit you have or a ridiculous thing that you absolutely love? Other people don't get it, but you love it. How would you answer?
My unusual habit.
Okay, I could start with one of mine. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm really happy, this is a simple one, but I sing like a lot, and it becomes awkward at work. Say if I'm in a great mood and I sing an answer at a coworker, and they're like, "Oh, she's really channeling the Disney princess today." So that's one of my things is um, singing even when it's not appropriate.
Right.
It's a little
Just, just
weird.
just start singing. Right.
But it's my thing. I live in a musical.
Right.
What about you?
Oh, I don't think I have a fun answer to this. Like, I don't think I have any unusual habits or
All
like
right. Is
ridiculous things that I love.
what
Mm.
about okay. So just be thinking about anything unusual that you like. For me, if I was going for food, like weird food items that I just adore, there's this thing in
Mm.
Korea. There's a snack called ojingo dangkong. And
Ah, right.
it's like this little crunchy, it's like a ball and it's crunchy
Mm,
and it tastes like peanuts and it tastes like squid and I
mm.
love it. It's this little squid peanut snack and I don't know if other Americans would be interested, but I absolutely go crazy for it. So that's one of my ridiculous things that I love. Oh, Leong, hi. So this is
Hello.
a friend of ours who runs a coffee related YouTube. Everyone go check it out. Lee and Hong. You can check out their Instagram as well. And we had let's see, is it making sounds with your hands? um, is
I can
that
do that,
is
yeah.
okay? Okay, so can you do that for
Yeah,
us, Han?
like this. Yeah. One of my specialities. Maybe I should have mentioned that during that what's that unusual habit or something.
That could work. This wasn't an unusual habit of yours, but I we were guys. We went to Seoul Botanic Gardens together, and it was a really fun day. It was cool stuff, and I can't remember. At one point, I think I was worried about something, or I was preoccupied thinking about something, and Han tried to make me laugh, and he did this like little jump and kick thing. I've never seen anyone do it in real life. I've only seen it on
Oh, like
TV.
a singing in the rain
Yes,
vibe.
it was fantastic. So, by the way, can you tell us how long you met each other and when? Okay, so as with so many of my friends, we met at one of the Soul YouTubers meetups.
Mm,
So it's maybe 2 months ago. Feels
I
like
think it was
longer
two
than
months
that.
ago.
It feels
Yeah,
like so much longer than that.
yeah.
Um, so I met him briefly at the first meeting, and it was actually my YouTube mentor Robin who told me,
Mm,
uh, "You didn't get to talk to that guy that much, but he was the most interesting guy at the party." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, okay, that's Robin's assessment." Oh, and dig this on. He originally didn't know if you were Korean. Like your English
mm,
was so good, he thought that you might be like born in England. Isn't that
right.
awesome? Awesome to be. So so the story is we met about 2 months ago.
Mm,
If you had asked me otherwise, I would have said it's about 10 months. Like it just feels like longer. Uh, but we got to thank you for the shout out. And Ryan says, oh, yeah, I have the same exposure. Okay. And Evan says, from swimming to the uni story, I'm seeing a pattern of resilience and overcoming life hurdles. It's inspiring. It
oh,
is, isn't
that's
it?
very nice of
Look,
you to say.
the the also Han has a very interesting military story. Han, are you at all available to talk about the short version of how you ended up doing your military service, where you ended up doing it? Because that's it's a little wild. It's a bit of a
Right.
wild story there, but I think it's also
Um,
another example of resilience.
no,
It's
I
just
think it's an example of excessive amount of curiosity and foolishness. So at that time, I think I remember it was summer 2007.
Mhm.
And I was supposed to go to the army. I mean, I didn't have to go to the army yet, and
Right.
but I had to. And kind of like I kind of had to give up on my career actually because of my like unexpected military service. So long story short, there was this beta test that the defense for ministry, sorry, defense of for I'm sorry, Ministry for Defense in Korea, and they were running this program like a website where you could actually pick where you want to get where you want to do military service. And I just wanted to know what the how the system works, so I just clicked Gangwon-do because nobody wants to do military service in Gangwon-do. I
That's
just
where I
clicked
live.
Gangwon-do, didn't read the pop-up message. Another piece of advice for everybody: read the
Always read the
message,
pop-up
read the
messages.
notifications, pop-up messages before you click yes, before you agree to anything. So I clicked yes, and then it said, well, thank you for so much for application. And I couldn't even cancel it. I really tried my best to find a way to revert my decision, change my decision. So even though I am from Seoul, I did my military service in Gangwon-do. So yeah.
So, everyone, just to recap a little, in South Korea, healthy young men have to spend 2 years in the military service, but they get a bit of choice about when they do that. There's a little bit of, a few years where they can decide, and they
Mm,
usually do their military service in a place near their home. It's more comfortable that way, etc.
mm.
But because there was like a weird beta testing website that Han went onto, he clicked on some things and irreversibly had to begin his 2 year military service immediately and begin it in a province far from home. And this interrupted his university studies and his plans for life in an irreversible way. So it would be an absolute nightmare for most people. And I believe it was kind of nightmarish for Han at the time. And yet, there's so many interesting things that have happened in Han's life after that weird interruption that
Oh
I don't
yes.
know. I think it's going to turn out for the good overall. So, Evan, you're absolutely right about Han's overall level of resilience. It's even greater than you know, because he had a very promising like university career and stuff that was interrupted by this website thingy. Let's see. So we got some greetings. Pallavi says, "Hello, Han. Hi, Han. How are you today? So happy to see you. Thank you, Pallavi."
Happy to see you too.
And so it says, I think that YouTubers Party is the best opportunity to meet so many great people. Um, so, Han, I do interviews every week, and I've probably interviewed like 5, 6 people from the party. So
Oh
it's
yes, yes.
it's become notorious. The Let's see. So Ryan said, "I feel like I've been drafted." Oh. So Pod, you really, really cold, really cold there.
Yeah.
Okay, it's right up there. Oh, okay. Oh, this is a this is a great question from Layla, and you could forego it, Han, if you don't want to. Han, could you describe Lee in a sentence, or maybe you pick 2 or 3 words.
Leigh Leigh knows what she's doing, and she's very passionate about what she's doing. I
Oh,
think that's how
oh,
I
I
can describe her.
I love that. I love that. Because I want that to be true. I
Mm.
feel an immense sense of purpose, and there's so much good that I want to do. And thank you. That's a beautiful thing to say, Han. I like that. So let's see. Can we circle back around to best advice? Is there a best
Right.
advice that you can remember?
Um,
Maybe when you were young, taking Taekwondo lessons against your will, a wise teacher said
mm,
something. No.
well, I don't know, because like different, different topic, you
Mm-mm.
get different advice. All I can think of at the moment is the best advice I got from some YouTuber actually regarding running a YouTube channel or social media.
Oh no, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Um,
Half of the people out here are doing YouTube,
mm,
so
yeah. So they said that you're not really running a shop. So don't think of running a YouTube channel as if you were running a restaurant or a shop. And what that person meant was that there may be lots of competitors. Like for example, I want to teach Korean. I want to reach out to all the Korean learners out there. And but of course there are lots of people on YouTube and Instagram that teach Korean. And there are a lot of
Mm-mm.
people who actually do better jobs than me. And what the advice meant was that don't think of them as your rivals, but think of them as the source for inspiration and people that you might want to collaborate with in the future.
Ah, all right. That what is it? It's not a zero sum game. It's not if they
Mm,
get views, I don't get views. It's
yeah.
literally not like the restaurant business where if someone's
Mm,
eating lunch at your restaurant, I'm not getting business. And
mm,
kind of the tide rises all the boats. Like what is good
yes.
for them is good for me, and we can
Mm,
be a source and work together. Ooh, ooh.
yeah. Because those people who are interested in certain topics are likely to subscribe to yours as well. So
Right.
I think that was really inspirational advice.
To not consider it as this like this cutthroat competition and there can only be
Mm,
one. I hadn't heard that specifically, so that's good news for me as well. It's something for me to let's see. Layla says, I agree with you, Han, about Leigh. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm just here to get compliments. Ah.
Lee's very inspirational.
Oh, Han, sir, your voice is so sweet. I like it. I want to learn Korean too in the future. Han, could you,
Oh,
if someone, I think Pallavi's from India, if someone had no knowledge of Korean, what's one word or phrase that you would teach them first? Can you teach everyone one word or one phrase if they don't know any Korean?
um, 감사합니다, I'd say.
Okay,
감사합니다.
okay. How do I
Hmm.
say it?
감사합니다.
감 감사합니다. And what does it mean?
It means thank you in a very formal and polite way.
So can I use it in most situations? 감사합니다.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like if most foreigners in Korea, I know that I know that some people might say, no, 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 you need to teach them 안녕하세요 first, but you wouldn't want to say 안녕하세요 to Korean people unless you want to start up a conversation. So if your Korean
That
level is absolutely like the beginner's level, then you might just want to say 감사합니다 because people will always try to help you.
That's a good point because I feel like in Western culture in America, saying hello is fairly common. Even if you don't know the person, you're walking past them, you can kind of greet people and it's not starting a conversation. You say, oh, hi, hello. And it has nothing to do with further communication. But usually in
Yeah.
Korean, if you actually say, 안녕하세요, if you say the Korean word for hello, the purpose is to talk with that person. So it's actually kind of useless if you're just walking around Seoul your first day in the country. But
Yes.
you might need to say thank you a lot and
Oh
people will
yes,
love
yes,
you.
absolutely.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So let's see. Leigh, could you please describe Han in one sentence as well? That's a good one. This is important. Let's see. I'd say, uh, deeply intellectual, old-fashioned gentleman going big places in the future. You're gonna do
Oh,
stuff. You
thank you.
are. You are.
Thank you.
And a clever man as well. He's got all the points. Totally got some resilience. You do. You do. Han
Oh
was
wow,
built to
thank you.
last. That's right. He's so there's something one to ponder. The biggest lesson you've learned in the last year. So 2022, 3 years into the
Mm,
pandemic, several months into your YouTube channel, what do you think would be the biggest life lesson you've learned this year? I'll try to think through mine as well. Um, let's see. I'll go ahead with mine while you're thinking through yours. I think my biggest life lesson in 2022 is to do the scary thing, even though it scares you, even while it is in the process of scaring you. Because this
Mm,
year I did a lot of bodybuilding stages. I did a lot of evening gown competitions, and I did most of them alone in Korea with no help. And it was terrifying, but it was beautiful
mm,
and it was very much worthwhile. And I made important connections and I made memories. And I'm so glad. And I nearly quit every single time. I nearly didn't do it. So, what I have learned is that fear means nothing. It's not a signal to stop, it's a signal to keep going because there's something good on the other
mm.
side. What about you? Biggest lesson you've learned 2022?
Um, start small.
Start
Start
small.
small, but start small, but start right away if you want to do it. That's the biggest lesson I learned.
Oh, and that could be applicable to YouTube, but to
Mm,
anything, to language learning,
yeah.
definitely.
Oh, yes,
That
absolutely.
it doesn't take a massive effort. It just,
Mm,
but if you don't start, you'll never get there. So just dive in. I like that. Start small. I feel like that would
yeah.
be like a great logo for a t-shirt or something. Um,
Start small.
in maybe the title for my next collection of short stories. Um, Hanser, is it easy to learn Korean? What do you think? Yes, Korean teacher's opinion of the language. Is it easy to learn?
It's one of the most difficult languages out there, if I'm being completely honest. Um,
No, I was hoping you would be. Pallavi, I don't know about all other languages, but if you are a native English speaker, it's one of the four hardest languages in the world to learn.
mm, yeah.
It's not considered easy by anyone.
It's however, eventually, every single language is difficult to learn anyways. So
Oh,
again, I mean, I can give you so many reasons why Korean kind of stands out as one of the most difficult languages to learn in the world, but on, I kind of want to do the opposite. I think you should kind of like know, you should kind of like you should kind of like accept the fact that, Korean is not the only difficult language to learn anyways. And
that's
what you
right.
can do is to study efficiently. That's that's how I kind of want to, describe
And
this
there's
process.
Pallavi, I would say that even though it is difficult, there's so much reward. Just the rich cultural history and Korean, the sound is beautiful. Like the vowels, it's just so pretty. And there are just these unique shades of personality, parts of my personality that only come out when I'm speaking Korean. So I think it's like a beautiful like a rose and just the petals keep
Mm.
opening just as a language. So Korean is very much worth learning however much time it might take. And then you get to understand K-pop and K-dramas,
Oh, yes.
which I mean there's fun elements too.
One of the big
And
perks of knowing Korean.
the let's see, you sound like Great Rocky, so inspirational. Thank you. I wow. So, and Ryan says he's from Busan. Yeah. So yeah, Ryan is his particular brand of Korean is a little bit is interesting. So Han, one more question for you, and everyone, we will be wrapping things up in the next 3 minutes or so. So please type in your last questions for Han. You got something you want to ask him? Get it in now, please. Get it in the chat. So this is one of our last questions, Han. Something to think about. What do you wish you had done more of in 2022? What do you wish you had done less of? So do you have
Um,
an answer? Would you like me to go first?
I kind of wish I spend more time with my family. That is one thing.
Ah,
And
yes.
I wish I'd, Drunk a little less, but I'm talking about like almost like a half a year ago. I must say I kind of like partied a lot. I kind of wish I'd, done something more productive. But I'm
Mhm.
on the right track, so
There you go. Nothing nothing to regret too much. We just course correct. We always change our direction a little bit, and you're certainly moving in the right direction this year. That's good. What we wish we'd done more of, what we wish we'd done less of. That's a great
mm,
answer to that one. And let's see, what are some common reasons for people wanting to learn Korean? Is in K-pop. So Han, what do you find as a teacher of Korean are people's main reasons for wanting to learn the language?
I don't really have statistics, but absolutely K-pop and Korean culture, the spread of Korean culture and accepting the Korean culture on a global scale are definitely like the main factors for, this interest, great amount of interest in Korean, the Korean language. Um, but when I was in London, I did meet people who are much more interested in international relations, like the dynamism in East Asian politics. And that was, I would say that is another, like a more of an academic factor for, wanting to
That's
learn
right.
Korean.
Maybe some older people or some people with a intellectual background are interested in all of the like the interesting nuance between, say,
Mm,
Japan and Korea and China. There's a lot of cool government political things going on in this corner of the world that once you get past really cute boys and girls singing really happy songs in Korean, then
mm.
maybe you can get into some of the deeper things. Let's see. Oh, good one was Han. What's your advice for anyone who wants to learn English well? Because
Mm,
you have learned English well.
First step, learn grammar. Second step,
Grammar first.
learn grammar first.
Mhm.
Second step, watch things that you like. Pick any genre, pick any movies or anything that is good.
Thank you.
And lastly, vocabulary. And vocabulary will be something that you will have to struggle with every single day. Yeah,
The
three steps.
never, you'll never not struggle. Quincy says hello, Leigh, hello everyone. Thank you. Quincy's our friend from the
Oh,
Philippines.
thank you.
Okay, and one little question to close us out. I think Layla says, Leigh, if you weren't an English person, which one do you like most, English or Korean? This is brilliant. I think I think I would probably like Korean most because my personality. I like a challenge. I like a difficult thing because it's difficult. And I would say that English is easier just because there's so many resources. The movies, the books, the music, everything in English makes English easier to learn because it's a global language. So I
Mm.
think if I wasn't a native English speaker, if I was like from Germany and I had to choose between English and Korean, I would probably like Korean better because it's gorgeous and it's nuanced and it's very, very difficult. All right. So, Han,
Korean
thank you
is
so
indeed a beautiful language. Yeah.
It is. So,
I agree.
Han, thank you for joining us today, everyone. This has been Han from Seriously Korean, and you can check him out on Instagram as well. All the links are in the description. And we will say good evening to you. Han, thanks for joining us. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
You